Hey everybody, so really quickly I'm going to show you how to use PowerPoint to create a really great flowchart. And flowcharts are really helpful if you're an admin, but they also can be really helpful if you are a teacher because you can create or visually represent the steps to a project or a chain of events. Like in social studies, we're always talking about cause and effect, and it's a great way to illustrate that for kids. It's a great way to just kind of show visually how different events or different parts of an experiment or different parts of language all kind of go together. So I thought I'd show you really quickly how to do this. The program I'm going to use is PowerPoint. You can also use Keynote if you prefer that. And you can also do the same thing in Google Slides. The reason I'm using PowerPoint is since it's probably, with the exception of maybe Keynote, they're probably both equally powerful presentation programs, and I can also work on it even if I'm not connected to the internet. So the first thing I need is I need a blank slide. And you want to think of this as your flowchart, just like a piece of paper. If you want to rotate it so it looks like, so it's not the, what is this, the long way, is this the hamburger way? I think that's if you fold a piece of paper. But if you want to rotate it so it's not like this, it's not in landscape mode, you would go to page setup, and then you would go to down here, orientation. You have the orientation for the slides, and you flip it this way and hit OK. And now presto changeo, it's this way. So that's, once again, you just go to page setup, you go down to slide orientation, click that, and make sure you hit OK. Now, I need to add, I'm going to make myself a slideshow or a flowchart to show the three parts to this new presentation rewrite that I want the kids to do, let's say, or they're gonna respond and refine a piece of writing. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to title it. Now you can use the text box like this. Like that. You can also, if you want to, you can go to everybody's favorite, which is word art, and you can insert some word art. So this is just some ways of inserting writing, which is probably nothing new to most of you. So I'm going to delete that. I'm going to go with this because I kind of like it a little bit more. Now what I want to do is I actually want to create some boxes, because what flowchart is complete without some really great boxes? I can also take this, just so you know, you can make it, you can kind of change, if you want to change the orientation of this object, what you do is these boxes will make it bigger or smaller, or will change the size of the text box. If you want to change the size of the text, you would highlight the text. I just double clicked to highlight the text, or clicked one side and drug across. Right now it's a 54. Let's say I want it just a little bit smaller. I can do that. I can also manually reset it. Let's say I want it to be 41. And that's the bell, but we'll ignore that and keep going. This right here, everybody wants to know what the little dongle is up here. This is the orientation bar. And if I move my cursor so that I see the little rotate thing, it's a little rotation image, and I click and hold, I can twist it and it'll rotate it. And what I want to do is I kind of want it at a little bit of an angle because I think that looks cooler, and then I can move it over here. All right, I can even move this up even more so it's off the edge of the page, and I can do fine adjustments. I'm clicking my arrows right now. I can do fine adjustments by clicking my arrows. Now, I want to add some boxes. So I go up to shapes. I can have rectangles. I can have other basic shapes. I'm going to go with rectangles. I select rectangles. I go over here. I click, and now I've got a little crosshairs. I'm going to click and drag to create the size of the box I want. Now, if this isn't the size of the box you want, you can actually grab the edge here, and you can free resize. So let's say I want it about this size. There you go. This is going to be my first step, so I'm going to double click on this, or sorry, I'm going to click on this, and then I'm just going to start typing. Created my box, now I want to add text. To add text, what I'm going to do is I click on the box, make sure all of those little resize dots appear, and then I just start typing. All right, here's the first step to my flowchart. And then what I might also want to do is I might want to change this box. I might just want it to be like a hollow black outline box. So I'm going to double click on it. I get a bunch of different options here. Right here it says color right now is this blue gradient. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to say no fill. If I hit OK and I did that correctly, now what I have is a box that is hollow. There's like literally it's like a frame only. This I can't see any, so I'm going to double click on my my type here, and now I can edit it just like I would any other piece of writing in a document. I'm going to bold it. I'm also going to change the color from white to black because that obviously isn't working. There we go, right? So that's step one. Now I want to make another shape. I'm going to make another rectangle, and I'm going to make this right here. Now, what can you see here? You see something. You see a line right over here on this side showing that I am now perfectly in line with the box above. This line appears saying I'm now exactly halfway aligned with the box above, and now over here, bing. And now I know that these two boxes are the same size this way. If I want to check and see if they're the same size the other way, I got to drag it up here. Now what you'll see, so I can compare, is you'll see that there's a line on the top here, but not on the bottom, which means that this box is a little bit smaller than the other one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag it down until I see all of the lines together. You can see the lines that were running parallel, like that. I'll just click it again so you can see it again. That means that this box is exactly the same size as the other one. So now I'm going to drag it back down here. Make sure I've aligned it. You can see the lines again. I'm going to put step 2, peer edit, because then I want them to edit this. And then I'm going to add a third box. Now, I could keep adding boxes that way, or I could highlight this box. I can go to edit, copy, and then I can go to edit, paste. And I've just duplicated this box. I can go ahead inside and I can change this. Let's say I want to change it so I'm a little bit more patriotic. I go back into, I double clicked on that again. All I did was I double clicked. I go to color. I'm going to go with just standard red. I hit OK. There we go. Now I want to make some arrows between my boxes. There are two ways to make arrows. We have arrow shapes, like this one. I'm dragging and creating an arrow. Now that doesn't really work for me because this arrow is first of all facing the wrong way. So I'm going to take this, go up to the rotate bar. I am going to rotate it so it is pointing straight down. Have it come out of the bottom of this box, and I want it to be just barely touching the other one. If I drag it up, there we go. There is another way to make arrows. I go to lines. So again, I went up to shapes. I go to lines. I go over here to this arrow. I select where I want it to start, and as you can see, kind of already knows what I want to do. I want to do that one more time because it was kind of cool. So I have shapes, lines, arrows, and as I mouse over this one, it says, oh, you're making a flowchart. And it's going to ask me where I want the arrow to come out of. So I'm going to go down and click here. It creates an arrow for me, but that's not where I really want it. I want to drag it. So I click on the end and I drag it back here, just like that. Another thing I can do is I can select the arrow, and remember how it's kind of anticipating what's going on. I let go. So those are two ways to make arrows. Now what I might also want to do is create boxes over here so students can write, but let's say that I'm just done and this is what I want. How do I get it out to my students? Well, there are a couple of different ways. The first thing is I can go File, Print, and I can print this slide just like it as a document. What you see is what you get. You select your printer, you hit Print. The second thing I can do is I can hit Save as Pictures. And what this is going to do is it is going to create a file wherever I select it. So in this case on my desktop that says Presentation 1. And inside that folder will be slide 1, slide 2, slide 3 as pictures. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save. I'm going to show you. So yeah, it says each slide of your presentation has been saved as a separate file in a folder, and this is where it is. So to find that, I'm going to go over my little finder dude. I'm going to go to desktop. Here's presentation 1, which is the name of the presentation, and right there, as a picture, which can be inserted into a document or a website or something else, is my flowchart, which is pretty snazzy. There's one more thing that I can do. I can go ahead and I can save this as a presentation. Hit save. And then I can go to my Google Drive. And I can hit this button right here and hit Upload Files. And I can upload the presentation or the picture. In this case, I want to upload the presentation because I want to show you something. I can upload the picture and I can share it. So I've uploaded this presentation, which is not a Google slideshow. It is a PowerPoint. Notice it says converted because this is pretty spiffy. I'm going to click on this. And if all goes well, I should have my PowerPoint now an editable, shareable Google presentation. Now you will notice a couple of things. First thing you will probably notice is that some of this is a little bit different. This was not the color of this word art, but I can still move it. and I can still fine adjust it. And if I highlight this, I can go in and I can just go ahead and I can change the colors. I want to change it back to like maybe a red. Look at that. I can also adjust and move these things, and if you'll notice, they move just like we did in the other thing. So there you go. I can go ahead and I can adjust my arrows. Let's say I want it to go the other way. I don't know why you'd want to do this in a revision thing, but I can put that here. And it'll even give you a little graphic readout. There you go. And this is just great if for whatever reason you change your mind, you do want to share it out, and then I can share this presentation with all of my kids, or I can go ahead and I can upload, just like I did here. I could also upload that picture, and I can share that out with everyone as well. So that's basically how to create either a slideshow. You can even use the same, or I'm sorry, a flowchart. You can also use the same kind of approach to create a worksheet as well with graphics and everything. It's just a really great thing, and I think you guys are going to find a lot of uses for it.